Hi crafters, it's Karen, and I created some mixed media type flowers and I wanted to share them with you because I think they came out super cute, and I used some of them in a layout already. So I'm using my Dilutions paints, and I'm using this watercolor paper that I picked up at Michael's, and this really is the cheapest type of watercolor. And then I'm using those paint daubers and that stippling brush, and I use my white Signa gel pen, and that is basically what I use to create these flowers. So I'm starting out with the turquoise, I forgot the name of it, but the turquoise and yellow Dilutions paints, and also the white. And the reason why I'm using Dilutions paints is because for one thing, they blend really nicely together. The colors just blend nice together, and they're so easy to work with. They're nice and smooth, they're vibrant, and I definitely wanted these flowers to be very vibrant. So I'm just dipping my little sponge dauber into the paint, and as you can see, I'm just creating off-center type circles. Now the type of flowers that I'm going for are the type that you see similar to the ones in Jen Hadfield's Cottage Living collection, those peachy flowers, or the Maggie Holmes type flowers, the ones that aren't they kind of look sketched out, sort of. It's hard to explain but you'll see, as you can see in the pictures in the beginning of the video. So now I'm adding some yellow to my turquoise, and I know that right now it looks like a mess, but it does come together in the end. So I'm splotching on the yellow, and now I'm going to bring in a little bit of the white just to give the flower some dimension. And I'm just splotching it on, and obviously I'm not being over precise or careful, because I feel like in the end, after I outline it and give it the details that I want to give it and cut it out, in the end it's going to be pretty, simply because those colors are pretty. Now I'm creating some more, and I'm using the bubblegum pink color and the squeezed orange color of the Dilutions paints. And again, I'm using one of the little sponge dauber things, and I'm just creating little circles. And I know at the bottom here I'm out of frame, and I'm sorry about that. I probably shouldn't have had the camera zoomed in as much as it is, but I thought it would be a good idea so that you could see some of the details. So now I'm adding some more pink flowers. I'm adding some pink to the orange flowers. And when I give the flowers a different shade like this, it just will sbring a different dimension to the flowers. And see, they all look kind of splotchy. But in the end, I think they come together, and I definitely will use them in a layout. I created some for a layout that I haven't posted yet, and the flowers themselves came out so much nicer than the layout itself. I probably will still post the layout because I just love the flowers so much. So this is the second batch of flowers that I've created, and I thought I would share it with you. Now I'm adding some white in. Again, that's going to give a little bit of dimension to lighten up one side of the flower. I also, you'll see in a moment, I dig out my Prima oil pastel crayons, and I decided to try creating these flowers using my Prima crayons that April Ann sent to me. Thank you so much, April. But and they really came out beautiful. And if you don't have the Prima crayons, you can use your gelatos. And if you don't have gelatos, use your watercolors. And you know, because when you bring in enough color, if you don't water it down too much, the colors still stay vibrant. And they just came out so nice. And they dried really quickly compared to the Dilutions flowers, which took, I think, forever to dry. Seriously, hours to dry. And that surprised me because I thought the Dilutions paints dried quicker. But anyway, these particular flowers that I'm creating here with the Prima oil pastels, they dried in a heartbeat without a problem. So I'm just using my finger to work in the color on the watercolor paper, and you can see I'm dipping my finger in that jar of water, and look how nice that is. Just the colors are so beautiful. And so I'm drying those up before I add another color to each one of these. And here I'm going to add a little bit of red to the yellow flowers, a little bit of lime to the turquoise flowers, a little bit of blue to the purple flowers, and what is that, a burnt umber type color to the green flowers. And you see how that just adds a little bit of dimension to the flowers. Just really cute. In the end, they look really cute. And now this is how I make the, you know, the seeds or whatever in the center of the flowers. I use that stippling brush, and I just dip it ever so slightly in the black Dilutions paint, and it just, you know, bounce it on the center of those flowers, and you see it comes out so nice. You'll get a better look in a little bit, but the centers just came out so nice. And if you don't have the black Dilutions paint, I'm sure you could use regular acrylic paint and even black gesso for the centers. And as a matter of fact, I do use my white gel pen to give some detailing into these flowers. However, I couldn't use my white gel pen on top of the Prima oil pastels. I can use the gel pen on top of the Dilutions paints, but not on top of the Prima flowers. So I'm using my Faber-Castell pen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline each flower. I'm just going to outline the shape that it already is, because I want these flowers to look kind of like sketched out, you know. Now at the end of this video, I do take the video back to real time and show you some other flowers that I created using some of the Artsy paints and some distress paints. So here I'm adding a little bit of the white Dilutions ink or paint to these Prima watercolor flowers, and I probably should have gone with gesso or something, but in the end it looks all right. Next time I'll probably use gesso on top of the Prima oil pastels. And somehow I got white paint all over me. Now I'm drying them out. Now my Faber-Castell pen stopped working, so I went to my Recollections pen, and this pen works beautifully. I got a set of these black pens, you know, in the pen aisle at Michael's, and it's a set of them, and they all have different size points. The point size that I'm using here is 0.8. But it goes down to like a 0.02, 0.08, 0.05. Anyway, they're beautiful pens, and that's the pen I'm using here. And you see how nicely those pink flowers came out? I mean, lighter on one side and darker on the other, and it just has the blend of colors just gives it a little bit of dimension. So now I'm going to add my details in with my white Signet gel pen. I love this pen. And as you can see, it's not going to show up on the Prima oil crayons, but it will show up when I add my dots to the center, because that center black is the Dilutions paint. So now I'm going to cut them out, and I'm giving you a little look here, and you saw the pictures in the beginning of the video, how nice they came out. And I'm using my Martha Stewart scissors to cut them out. These scissors are beautiful. I've had them for a long time, but I haven't really used them yet. So these turquoise and blue flowers, those are going to look beautiful on a beach-themed layout, I think. And those orange and yellow flowers, those will be beautiful summer-type flowers. So I'll definitely use these, whether in my mixed media or on my layouts. I just love the way they came out. So now I'm adding my little, whatever you call them, in the center. And it was just fun to sit in here. It took all day because Joe is recovering, and you know, I came out here just, you know, maybe a half hour at a time, making sure that he was all set. His surgery went well, and so far his pain is being managed with ice and compression, so he's on the mend. So thank you all for asking about him and sending your love and prayers. We're both doing much better, and we're taking, you know, one day at a time. And here I'm just kind of making little sketchy marks on these flowers, just kind of, you know, little doodle dots, dashes, you know, just a little bit of detail on them. Now I decided to go in with my Deco Art gold foil pen, and this one I found at Hobby Lobby. I love this pen, and I'm adding just groups of 3 little dots. 3 groups of 3 dots of the gold foil on these pink flowers, and I just think it adds such a sweet little touch. And now I can use these pink flowers on layouts that have gold accents. It's like not too much gold, but it's definitely a gold shimmer on these flowers. So I'm going to have to pick up the silver foil pen as well from Hobby Lobby, because this one works beautifully. So now I'm going to cut all these out, and I'm cutting just beyond that black line, you know. And they all, see how sweet they came out? They all came out so nice. So I'm going to set them all aside. So now I'm going over with the Wink Estella, but you can't really tell on these Prima flowers. There you have it. I finished creating my mixed media flowers. I'll show a few of them to you. I also created these particular ones using distress paints, Tim Holtz distress paints. And I love these muted colors. I thought that they would work well with maybe vintage type projects or just whatever. The centers are gray. And then I did some using these paints that I picked up at Michael's. The Artsy heavy body acrylic paints. They're in the mixed media section at Michael's. So I used let's see, I used like some of these colors, lighter pastel shabby colors, and I did some of the centers with the gold. So that's what these are made out of. That's how I created these. I did do a couple of the centers dark, but for the most part I used the gold. And I think these are sweet. They have a different look to them. And again, I did some accenting with my white gel pen. So really cute. Some of them I did off the edge of the paper, so those will be used, you know, to tuck underneath other flowers, you know. So I thought they came out really sweet. And now I took this punch from Martha Stewart. I've had this for quite a while. This is the die leaves that it cuts. Really a good size leaf. And I am outlining them a little bit with my white gel pen, so that it too will have that sketched look about it, just like the flower. And let me show you how cute these can look. The flowers can look. So really sweet, right? And these are some of the pink ones. The pink ones I accented with my gold foil pen. You can see the little dots there. I thought they came out really cute. So I'm definitely going to be using these in upcoming projects. They all came out so sweet. Some of them are bigger than others. Whoops. And these also I created with the Dilutions paints. And these are quite big. I don't know what I was thinking making these so big, but I love the colors. These will look good on a project, on a layout. Really sweet. The Dilutions ink took a while to dry. I mean, some of it isn't even dry yet, so and then of course the Prima ones that I used my Prima crayons on, pastel crayons, those came out really sweet, and these dried like right away. Really, really beautiful. So these are my mixed media flowers. They're not dimensional at all. I'm loving the way they came out, and I'm going to just put them in my stash and use them on layouts as I need them. And there you go. I thought they really mimicked the look of some of the flowers I've been seeing in some of the paper collections, like the Jen Hadfield paper collection, Cottage Living. You see this flower here? I don't have another sheet of paper with that on there because with that flower on it, because I use up all those papers. But that's what I was going for, a flower similar to those and similar to the Maggie Holmes flowers that we've been seeing. So there you go. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you give this a try. And if you do, let me know how they come out. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.